Hello, my friends, and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Yesterday, the current president of the United States of America, Mr. Joe Biden, had a little speech to the nation regarding the assassination attempt on the former president of the United States of America, Donald Trump. I have about 6 little excerpts of this speech, which lasted 6 minutes and 20-some seconds. And I'm going to show you how Mr. Biden views this assassination attempt and how he spins reality, among others. The clips that I will play for you are from this interview, obviously, and they're about, let's say, 20 seconds at most. Some of them are 5 seconds, some of them are 40 seconds. So let's start the video. This is the guy lost in space. Let me put my glasses. At second 36, Mr. Biden makes a mistake already. He's going to eat some words. So he is going to talk about former President Trump, but he says former Trump. So let's see what's going on here.
Thankfully, former Trump is not seriously injured.
So former Trump is not seriously injured. I'm pretty sure the teleprompter did not say former Trump, it said something else. So this is the guy who has to read like this big from a teleprompter or 2 or 3 or 4, and because I'm pretty sure these guys are switching, that's how they do. They have the first teleprompter, the original one, the main one, and then you got like 2 ready, probably with some lights. And let's say the red one has a little red thing and says, okay, the red one is the main one. So when they see he's getting lost, that turns green or turns off. And I'm pretty sure another teleprompter or another piece of big, it's not on teleprompter, they have a different kind of like these big ones. Another light turns on close to it so you don't see his eyes moving. It's a little bit further, so it's big written. So he's looking over there and he's going to pick up from there. Because when he gets lost, that's what I observed during this one. And let's get to the second little clip, which is minute 135. In minute 135, which is about here, he's going to talk about violence is not the solution and all that, which is true. And in the political discourse, and he's going to start mentioning some violent acts committed. But he is missing out a few that I will complete for Mr. Biden, who obviously the script writers were just giving the spin. So he's going to talk about the members of Congress, January 6th. We're going to talk about even about Pelosi's, the House Speaker at that time, Nancy the corpse, Pelosi's husband, who was hit in the head with a hammer by a guy in the underwear in their house. All right, and I will add some other evidence that he is not using. All right.
Not go down this road in America. We've traveled it before throughout our history. Violence has never been the answer. Whether it's with members of Congress of both parties being targeted,
members of Congress,
or a violent mob attacking the Capitol on January 6th,
attacks,
or brutal attack on the spouse of former Speaker of the
Nancy
House,
Pelosi,
or information and intimidation.
So let's start here for now. Let's start to this. So, members of the House. Well, I remember when, if you remember, Steve Scalise, the Republican representative, he was shot, and others, remember, by that Bernie Sanders supporter. Remember that one? Now, he's not mentioning, he's at both houses, but I'm going to mention, that's both sides. Remember when Trump said about that rally and how they labeled it, and he said, well, there's a fine man on both sides, and they go, oh my God, you can't say that. Only evil there and only good here, because that's why they think that we are thinking only in plus and minus, and it's 100% absolute, not intertwined. World life doesn't work that way. Then he talks about January 6th, obviously, but he fails to mention the attacks in Minnesota, remember? The attacks in Milwaukee, the attacks in Seattle, Washington, in Portland, Oregon, in Washington, D.C., in those times. Remember those? He's not mentioning those. He's mentioning only what he likes. Only what he likes. Now, regarding the Gretchen Whitmer, that he's going to mention her in a second about the kidnapping plot. I will have a few words on that one. And he talks about Nancy Pelosi and her husband. Remember, the guy, the husband of Nancy Pelosi called the police. Police showed up. He opened the door and the police entered, and the guy with a hammer with his underwear hit him in the head. Now that is political violence. What the hell was going on over there? Anyway, so let's get going, because this guy is going to switch now to Gretchen Whitmer, the governor of the state of Michigan, where that group, let's hear it first and then.
Officials, or the kidnapping plot against the sitting governor, or an attempted assassination on Donald Trump.
All right, so that is about Gretchen Whitmer. And remember, it was a plot to assassinate her, to do this. That's awful. That's awful. Now, that was done by a group of people, and that group was infiltrated by our security forces. So that makes you wonder who is around you in your little group. If you go to the bar to watch, I don't know, UFC with a drinking party, what are you going to do? Who is who and what's what? Well, I'm glad that they are able to infiltrate certain things like this. But that makes you wonder about January 6th, doesn't it? Anyway, so let me show you here what happened with that plot. And I have here a little article. Let's see if this is the one. Right here. So this is the article that I got from Forbes. 3 men acquitted in final Whitmer kidnapping plot trial. This was September 15th, 2023. And there were 3 out of more than that. Remember, I want to read a little bit. 14 men led to an arrest of 14 men, of which 9 were previously convicted. And we see here, this is important. The 3 men are the last in a group of 14 to face trial on charges stemming from a plot to kidnapping, possibly assassinate Whitmer. 2 other men were previously acquitted, while 9 men were convicted through either guilty pleas or verdicts at 3 other trials. The FBI arrested right, following an undercover mission in which agents were embedded among suspects. Well, you don't know. Sometimes people are embedded to push something forward or to prevent it. All right. So you don't know how much those guys could have prevented it before they even did this and did that. But nevertheless, I just wanted to give you an extra information. Let's go back to the President of the United States of America, and we're going to jump to minute number 3. So let's go to this like that. Let's go number 3. And in minute number 3, all right, he's going to talk about peaceful political debate, decency, all right? But I will tell you what he said about his opponent, and I will show you. Let's go.
I believe politics ought to be an arena for peaceful debate, to pursue justice, to make decisions guided by the Declaration of Independence and our Constitution. We stand for an America, not of extremism and fury, but of decency and grace.
Decency.
All of us now face the time of testing.
All right. So he talks about the Declaration of Independence. He talks about the rule of law. He talks about decency. Wasn't he one who labeled some groups in this country like MAGA extremists? MAGA, remember? Didn't he call somebody and some fascists? Didn't he call white terrorism, white pop? Didn't he call all that thing? What do you think those words? I don't know, what reaction do they get from some people? Now, I'm always for calling the things the way they are. I think he's not seeing the things they are. I think he inflated a lot of terms that he used to refer to Trump himself and some of his supporters. and some group, only one in America. So a decency debate, you were part of inflating and creating and inflaming and creating this kind of atmosphere as well as others. So don't give me that. I know when they were comparing, Trump is like Hitler, Trump is this, Trump is a what would be their reaction? Oh, if he's like Hitler, what? Would you allow Hitler to walk around? You know what he did? So you don't wait for that. So what are you going to do? A decent debate. Well, be careful. Now, that's the minute number 3. You have minute 3:33. Let's go there. All right. And in minute 3:33, and he's going to talk about himself. Obviously, he cares about himself. All this speech is mostly about himself. All right. And a political speech. It's political campaign speech. And he's going to talk about the rule of law. But he's forgetting certain kind of things. So let's see.
The Republican convention will start tomorrow. I have no doubt they'll criticize my record.
Yeah, you bet.
Vision for this country. I'll be traveling this week, making the case for our record and the vision, my vision of the country, our vision. I'll continue to speak out strongly for our democracy, stand up for our Constitution, and the rule of law.
Did you see? Democracy and rule of law.
Fellow Americans.
Democracy and rule of law. Well, democracy and rule of law. The rule of law and the Constitution says that you have to make sure that the border is sealed, that you protect us from the invasion. Do you do that? That's it's in the rule of law. People break the law, and then what do? Did you, punish them, send them back? So don't give me the rule of law. And don't forget that this guy is the guy who's all for that. All for what I was just saying. No wall whatsoever. Why? Because walls are bad. But they all have walls at their mansions. So let's go further. Let's see what I have. And remember the Trump's court cases that he's got? I think they're political. I mean, really, I personally don't care who he picks. All right? And she's got the money. And then what? Oh, the money was coming from this guy. Remember, this guy is a billionaire who almost got shot. And he did fight. He could have been somewhere, I don't know, in Tahiti with some, whatever, yacht or whatever, doing whatever. But no, he's over there. Oh, he wants more. He's greedy. That's what it is. All right, if you say so. So let's go back to minute 4:40. Let's go to 4:40. Okay, 4:40. Let's see if we have still these things on. Right there. And go.
For my being. So tonight, I'm asking every American to recommit, to make America, think about it. What's made America so special? Here in America, everyone must be treated with dignity and respect. And hate must have no safe harbor.
Have no harbor, safe harbor here.
We need to get out of our
Do you hear that?
silo.
So hate should not have any, and I agree with that. Anyway, I think people could hate how much they want, as long as you don't, instigate to violence and you don't act upon it. I can hate how much I want. And the FBI knows everything about me as they know about you if you're American. I guarantee you that. And if they want to find out, they find out things that you never knew about yourself. So he wants to, make sure that it's just wants the rule of law. But I have something else about this guy here. At 4:40 is something that actually is makes sense to me, and I'm going to show you. Let's see. Where is this lost here? He was about to say to make America great, but he switches. Just losing it. He's just losing it. And let's go to minute 5:27, where he's talking about the democracy and about what democracy is, the founding fathers who, some people say that they did this and they're bad dudes, but now he uses them to unite us. All right, let's start. Power of passion. Create a democracy.
We owe that to those who come before us, to those who gave their lives for this country. We owe that to ourselves. We owe it to our children and our grandchildren.
All right, so he talks about democracy. You know what he missed out of all that enumeration, and he tells us about democracy? The freedom of speech. He talks about decency, he talks about this kind of, behavior, but he doesn't talk about the main pillar of democracy, of a free society, of a free man, free people. That is freedom of speech. That means you're not afraid to speak up or speak out of the retaliations for whatever you say. We have laws against, as I said, instigating to violence or things like this, creating panic. But that's the pinnacle. Without a free speech, there's no democracy. We go and vote, but if you're not allowed to hear from someone else, because those guys are banned or imprisoned, let's exaggerate, you're going to vote what? From whatever you hear. And whatever you hear is what's allowed by certain forces. So this is Biden for us. You can go and watch his 6 minutes and so on. And I think it was conclusive in what this guy is. He is lost. Remember, if you don't remember, I tell you anyway. In the video I made regarding the debate, the first debate this year between Trump and Biden, I made a claim that one of the reasons why they made the rules, CNN, to have each candidate 2 minutes only, and not more than 2 minutes for speeches or, making statements. I said because Biden is losing it after 2 minutes. He can't stay focused. After 2 minutes, he's like, excuse me, people, he's losing it. And the same thing happened here in the first minute, in the second 30, and then it happened in 4:40. He was like, let's make America, people. So he's losing it, and it was in a minute 4:40. So I still think that he has lapses. His connection, neurological or neurons connections are not there from time to time, and that is mostly in 3 minutes. That's how much I give him. 3 minutes attention span. That's what, like baboons. So here it is, my friends. This is my take on this little speech that Biden gave. And obviously he says he can against this and against that. But it was, I think, lame. It was slanted, or it was by omission. They picked and choose to do what? Actually, to polish himself. He wants unity. Unity like baboonish unity? That's exactly what they want. My friends, free speech, free thinking. That's what we need first. If we don't have that, democracy doesn't exist. Or exists in a, like we mostly have in the United States of America, fake and phony. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.